Welcome to the Snowflake World Tour New York. Please silence your devices and take your seats. Our program is about to begin. Please welcome Snowflake Chief Executive Officer, Sridhar Ramaswamy.
Good morning. How's everyone doing? I am delighted to be at the Big Apple. Welcome up to the Snowflake World Tour. The line to get in stretched more than 2 blocks. That's why we had to wait a little bit to get going. It's amazing to be back here with you. This is my second Snowflake World Tour stop, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be than right here. The energy is totally electric. I want to start out by simply saying thank you. Thank you for being here with us. We have people from all over the region representing every industry imaginable. Data across the entirety of the data lifecycle. And that simplicity has never been more important than it is right now in the age of AI. In this age, you should be able to ask a question with a voice memo and get an answer on your enterprise data. Starting with the customer backdoor, that's exactly what I did right on my phone. You should be able to launch a customer app without writing a single line of code. To be able to just guide. You should be able to build with an API, knowing that you have the freedom to change your mind on the AI model or language that you wish to implement with. And you should be able to harness the world's best AI models to create agents that are tailored to your task. And that's how simplicity accelerates innovation. And that's why Snowflake AI is designed for ease of use. We have over 6,100 customers use Snowflake AI and machine learning on a weekly basis. And a quarter of our deployed use cases now include AI. Managing even the most complex data challenges become easier. The combination of a strong, governed, unified data foundation that you can tap into seamlessly with AI. Another great example of a customer in action, Siemens. With hundreds of business units across the globe, Siemens needed a way to simplify how data is accessed, shared, and operationalized. A strong data strategy. Data is the fuel that powers AI. And Snowflake makes it easy to put the fuel to work across your entire business. Share data seamlessly, and power AI at scale. I recently sat down with Satya Nadella, Chairman and CEO of Microsoft, to talk about how these integrated experiences help organizations unlock new possibilities with their data. Let's take a closer look. Today, AI is reshaping every business and every industry. And at the center of it all is data. Data is the fuel powering this AI revolution. And the urgency to build a strong data foundation is only increasing. I'm excited to be joined today by Satya Nadella, Chairman and CEO of Microsoft, to talk about this rapidly evolving landscape and how we can navigate it together.
Hi Sridhar, it's great to join you in the Snowflake community. It's fantastic to be partnered with you.
Thank you, Satya. Snowflake and Microsoft have built a close partnership supporting our giant customers across cloud deployments, data sharing, and AI. At the core is our shared belief in openness, enabling enterprises to bring together structured and unstructured data from any source and using it throughout the data lifecycle. In today's world, where complexity slows innovation, why is simplifying the data stack, openness, and interoperability so critical for enterprise-ready AI?
I think you said it in terms of the core principles that are needed to bring, I would say, two powerful concepts ultimately to change the frontier of how a firm operates, right? A firm operates by being able to put together the human capital they have with sort of the knowledge capital that is accrued inside the company. And that means data. And so if you say the AI, let's say, represents a next generation new runtime, which is a reasoning engine, if we can somehow take that reasoning capability that amplifies human reasoning and then put it together with data, the frontier at which the company performs and operates completely changes. So that's where the interoperability, the openness, the term that I think everyone now is talking about, context engineering. Context engineering is a data problem. Ultimately, it's about being able to recall the right data with the right precision, and then to be able to feed it to the reasoning engine so that you have better outcomes. And that, to me, requires some of the principles you just talked about of interoperability and openness and and recognition of a heterogeneous environment we all operate in.
And we've made tremendous progress building deep integrations across our products. Most recently, we announced day zero support for OpenAI's GPT-5 models in Cortex AI through Azure OpenAI Service. And we have integrated Cortex agents into Microsoft 365 Copilot and Teams, bringing Snowflake data into everyday workflows through conversation agents. We're also embracing open standards with a bidirectional integration between Microsoft Fabric and Snowflake through Apache Iceberg. And we have simplified data sharing between Microsoft Power Platform, Microsoft SharePoint, and Snowflake. From your perspective, what do these milestones mean for our giant customers?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic, to your point, to see, I think, all the plumbing now that has been put in place at the end of the day, to really empower our joint customers to be able to realize more value out of all the investments they have made.
Cortex Analyst has a market-leading 90+% accuracy rate, and we keep on pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We know that you need to move ahead with confidence, that the right people are using the right data for the right purpose. And in healthcare, security and governance are not optional. Customers push the boundaries of innovation at each and every stage of their data and AI lifecycle. Easy, connected, trusted. That's the AI data cloud. And it's as simple as that. So get ready to learn what you can do with Snowflake today as we will get into the details in this next portion. Thank you all for having me today.
Please welcome Snowflake's Executive Vice President of Product, Christian Kleinman.
I've been doing a few of these Snowflake World Tours, and I'm trying to figure out which city has the most energy. Good morning, New York! Anyone excited? This side is not excited. Good morning! That's better. Super happy to be here with you, and thank you. That we look at can get better. Every activity that we do can be turned into a more productive activity. And yet the reality has a number of dilemmas. The potential for AI is very high, But everyone tried to put out some quick demo in production last year, and it's not as easy. Readiness is low. There's lots of data, and yet it is not at our fingertips, available when we need it to deliver value to the business. Lots of silos. And then there's data architectures, where I don't know if the choices I made in data architecture are gonna enable me and help me deliver those results to the business. And offer to help you with those 3 wants. Let's start with AI. This is top of mind for many of us here. And Snowflake helps you in a number of fronts. With Snowflake, can help get your data to be AI ready. We can help you accelerate the time to insights. We can help you create intelligent and conversational assistants. Have model choice, because if any of technologies and capabilities out there in the market for you to leverage AI in your organization. And let me walk through the different elements of Cortex AI. The foundation is, of course, data. The power of AI in the enterprise comes from connecting your enterprise data. And we'll talk more about how we're helping with connectors to unsiloed data, how we have external data, I'll show you in a second, and of course how we have data that is inside of Snowflake, outside of Snowflake, structured, and all of that comes together. Many organizations by now have realized is that the bridge between AI and business terminology and physical schemas and tables and views is bridged with semantic knowledge about your data. And at Snowflake, we've done 2 meaningful things. One, we introduced semantic views as a way for you to specify and configure the language and the terms of your business users to your physical data. But we're also leading the industry through a consortium to make sure that semantic models from Snowflake and a number of other companies can interoperate, so you are not tied to one specific storage of semantic information, or you're not locked into, oh, my semantic data is in platform A or platform B. We want this semantic information to be able to interoperate. And when I mentioned external data, we want you to be able to consume data as part of your data activities that is AI ready. And when we say AI ready, there's 2 concepts. One is data sets that are in our marketplace already with embedded semantic views, so it's ready to be understood by AI. But also we have introduced what we call Cortex knowledge extensions, which is helpful for unstructured data, for text data. And you see some of the logos on the screen, companies that have, for example, news content ready for you to plug in into your conversational assistant in your company. But also there's a big part on actual retrieval. And we have Cortex Search, which helps you create an assistant on unstructured and text data. We have Cortex Analytics, which helps you do the same thing for structured data. And this is where you plug in those semantic views I mentioned. And we have a number of primitives that help you reason and get value out of documents. Extract a field, ask a question of a document. Sridhar mentioned the importance of model choice. We are committed to bringing you the state-of-the-art models available within the security boundary of Snowflake. If you trust Snowflake with your data, you don't need to send data to some other model endpoint. We've brought those models into Snowflake, and we are at the forefront of innovation. Just this Monday, Anthropic launched a new model. We were at day 0 launch, and you can find the latest cloud models in Snowflake. Maybe the most important thing I want to highlight for all of you on Cortex AI is governance. It is very easy to do a demo that doesn't honor or respect security and role-based access control and all of that. That's okay. And that's what we do with role-based access control for models. We can do evaluation. We have a number of capabilities to help you deploy AI with confidence. And then, of course, how do you build value on top of this foundation? There are three aspects. First one is what we call AI SQL. For those of you in the room or in your organization that are comfortable with SQL as the way to make requests and get value out of the data, we've extended Snowflake SQL to do reasoning, extraction, summarization, all sorts of text and other modality processing, like being able to transcribe audio, just with a SQL statement. Works for structured, works for unstructured data. But we've also introduced Cortex agents, where you can create an agent that can do reasoning, that can orchestrate between one or multiple Cortex agents. Everyone in your organization, what the future of data insights, what the future of business analytics look like. It's a conversational assistant built on Cortex agents and lets you democratize access to your data for your business users. We're leveraging Snowflake World Tour here in New York to introduce for the first time what we call Snowflake Cortex AI for financial services. It has two parts to it. One is a set of capabilities to more easily get value out of data for organizations that are in financial services. And it has a set of launch partners that bring data, applications, solutions to make it easier to get data. We're incredibly excited about what we do with our customers across industries, but today we're particularly excited about advancing our capabilities on financial services. So I said a lot about it. Yeah. This gentleman is been right. Fine. Okay, so I talked a lot about Cortex. You want to see it? Like 3 people, yes. Do you want to see it?
Yes.
Okay, we have Dash already here, computer ready. Let me welcome Renee to the stage and we'll watch the demo. Renee, welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Christian, for introducing Cortex AI for financial services. So the power of Snowflake has always lies in our end-to-end platform and ground all the AI insights with data. So today, I'm super excited to show you an example of an end-to-end use cases of how financial service customer will leverage Cortex AI to transform their key business workflow. So today, I'll be playing 2 personas at an asset management company. First, I'll be the data scientist who wants to access and process data to build their quantitative models. And next, I'll play a portfolio manager who wants to use natural language to access the actionable insights generated from data and models built by their data science team. And it is very important to note that our solution goes beyond financial services and asset management, and all the features that we are showing today can be applied to a wide range of use cases across all the industries. So with that, Dash and I will be showing you 3 things in the next couple minutes. In this case, earnings transcript using Cortex AI SQL. And next, we'll accelerate machine learning model building by introducing our latest capability, data science agent, to help you write code all the way from feature engineering to model training to backtesting. And lastly, we'll put everything together and using a natural language interface to help all the business stakeholders to access insights to their data from Snowflake Intelligence. All right, there's a lot to cover. Let's get started. So first, I want to access and process data. As a buy-side data scientist, accessing to market data is critical to everything that I do day in and day out. So Snowflake Marketplace offers easy access across all types of data, starting from structured information like price time series, or all the other market data, all the way to the unstructured contents like research, news, or earnings transcript. So in this demo, I'll be using the earnings transcripts across all the US public company accessed by the Snowflake marketplace. Now, earnings transcripts are critical information that have huge implication to both market sentiment and stock performances. Historically, to really process across large scale of unstructured information like earnings transcripts, it's been extremely difficult, especially with very specific instructions. Now, with Cortex AI SQL, anyone with a SQL skill set can easily access and transform all unstructured data across text, image, audio, and documents, all at scale. So here, Dash is using the AI complete function and with my prompt to ask the model to help me extract sentiment information and with a very specific instruction to only focus on the endless sentiment and questions. Now, within the same data pipeline as your other data processing, we're able to get the sentiment score ranging from 1 to 10, as well as a summary of why the model gives such a score as a justification. And here, in less than a couple minutes, I'm able to transform all unstructured information into structured format. How easy is that? So, now moving on, I want to start building machine learning models. As I have extracted numerical value from my earnings transcripts, I want to move on and now start my quantitative modeling journey. So historically, building an ML model can be a really tough task because it both requires very deep knowledge as well as very heavy coding. To accelerate that journey, Snowflake is introducing Data Science Agent, a coding agent in the notebook environment to help you write code all the way from feature engineering to model training to backtesting. So for the sake of time, I have already in the previous conversation to ask the agent to help me first construct all the features. And here we added a couple of price momentum features across different time frames to help with my predictive model. And next up, I want to build a predictive model which the data science agent helped me generate the code to train the live GBM model on look-forward basis for each of the quarter. And lastly, backtesting. So now the data science agent can go in and start reasoning about what are the ways to get prediction and constructing a portfolio strategy and start with calculating key performance metrics. Now, obviously, as we can see live, the data science agent is going through a very hard thinking process that, this is the beauty of a live demo, that it is in a production environment and is thinking a little bit longer. But what we'll see, in a couple of steps, is will first help us build the features needed. And next, it can begin to train the model on a look-forward basis for every single quarter. And finally, it will implement the trading strategy and calculate all the performance metrics for us. So, since something's finished, but let's switch back to, just for the sake of illustration, to this pre-generated code from our data science agent that's already helping us calculate key performance metrics like information ratio and max drawdown, as well as plotting this equity curve to show the P&L from our trading strategy. So previously, for me as a data scientist, to go through the end-to-end journey, starting from feature engineering to the model training and all the way to backtesting, it could have easily taken me days or weeks. And now, with the help of data science agent, I can drastically cut the time to value and really focus my time on higher value added tasks like brainstorm what are more features to bring along, or tune the parameter of my model to get a better performance. Now, with the end-to-end platform, we can also save as I iterate through the model and feel satisfied on the quality and performance. We can also save this model into Snowflake model registry to really register the model for future usage in the next step. And this is how Snowflake as an end-to-end connected, easy platform to help accelerate all my journey as a data scientist. So last step, I want to get easy access to the insights. Now, data model always creates more value when everyone can easily access it. To benefit our non-technical stakeholders, enterprises now have access to a brand new AI experiences, Snowflake Intelligence, that allows teams across all functionality to get easy insights by simply chatting with their data. Now let's continue our asset management journey. So as my data science team has already built the quantitative model, now let me switch my hat to be a portfolio manager who wants to simply get the signal from this quant model that was built, as well as do some other validation checks. So now, as the machine learning model has been registered as a tool from my data team, now I can simply go ahead and ask the Snowflake Intelligence to give me the top 3 versus bottom 3 trade predictions for the next period. And what's happening under the hood, actually Snowflake Intelligence was able to identify my intention and identify there is a tool for the model prediction and actually running live inferences and pick up what's the top 3 versus bottom 3 prediction based on the result. So with Snowflake Intelligence, you can get real answers from a simple interface in real time with no code, no dashboard, and no delay. All right, moving on, I also want to do some further validation check. As I have already get the quantitative signal from the model, I also want to sense if there's any discrepancy about the qualitative information that I get from earnings transcript. So now I can simply go ahead and ask, across all the bottom predictions, is there any one that was very high analyst sentiment actually from earnings transcript? And at this time, Snowflake Intelligence actually already goes beyond structured data and enter into the unstructured data here, earnings transcript, to help me summarize what's the discrepancy. And I think SIA is basically telling me that despite the very weak technical signal we are seeing from the quant model, the qualitative results from the earnings transcript is still giving me very strong fundamentals. And here is helping bridging the gap between my structured and unstructured data to get a cohesive insights. Now that's a lot to cover in the couple minutes, so let's take a step back and recap. So we just went through from raw data to a machine learning model and to a natural language interface that any of your team can talk and get insights from data and model. In the beginning, the data engineering and data science team can get easy access to data from Snowflake Marketplace and process across various data source and data type by Cortex AI SQL. And then the data science team can really accelerate their research process by a data science agent, do the end-to-end feature engineering, model training, and backtesting on Snowflake platform. And lastly, the business stakeholder can simply leverage Snowflake Intelligence to talk to their data and get insights across structured, unstructured, and their machine learning models. So this is how Snowflake's end-to-end platform can help and ground all AI insights with data. We are super excited to keep powering the next generation of AI tooling for financial services and across many other industries. Thank you so much, everyone, and back to you, Christian.
Make Jeanette feel welcome. So we're going to be loud. Jeanette from Morgan Stanley, please welcome Jeanette.
To be here in my home city. It's funny when they asked me to do this panel and fireside chat, I assumed it was going to be at a little bit. So my name is Jeanette Campbell. I am a managing director at Morgan Stanley. I head up all of data analytics, data AI platform infrastructure for the firm. So my amazing team all over the world is a mixture of engineers who run and build and architect and deal with security, and the service organization that runs and supports and keeps everything up and performance-y tuned. So I'm pretty lucky I have an amazing team of people who are pretty passionate about data. I also sit on the board for Girls Who Code. I'm pretty passionate about getting kids into technology. And I have a 10-year-old daughter who is fighting me in terms of wanting to have anything to do with technology. But this month is my 25th year anniversary at Morgan Stanley. And I know you're all kind of doing the math of when I first joined, but it kind of speaks to the culture and how amazing our company is that I've stayed there that long.
Can you talk to us about priorities for AI for you and your team? Because any business process these days can get improved. So how do you prioritize? Where do you focus?
I mean, I think this is the first time in my career where, with AI coming into the picture, that I've seen such a deeper partnership between technology and the business, much more so than I've ever seen before. And I think the exciting thing, especially at our company, is that we realized from the get-go that data was at the center of that, and it was really important to think about how your data is governed, the quality of your data when you think about AI. In 2020, our firm had a pretty deep partnership with OpenAI. So from an early stage, we've been focused on the 360 in terms of the customer experience. And I think now we're at a point where we're actually starting to have fun with some of the other areas that AI can potentially help and give us efficiencies. I think when we think about prioritizing, yourself and a lot of the people, the Vectin team and Kelly and our account team, I mean, security is like the number one thing I look at.
We've added lots of security capabilities to Snowflake, thanks to your feedback, because you have a high bar, very high bar.
We do have a high bar, and it's really important to make sure that our data is secure for our customers. I think the second thing, is when a lot of these, kind of new things come into the industry, everybody rushes to them, but we're very pragmatic in terms of how we approach, new technologies. I think we've spent a huge amount of time with the business to understand, really what the business benefit of some of these technologies are and how we would roll them out and how we would use them. I think one of the exciting things, we do a lot, and I'm sure everybody in the room does a lot for their customers. You put your customer first and you focus on your customer. But I think that one of the exciting things, and I've never seen so much excitement especially in our Snowflake hackathon, where we're actually thinking about ourselves a lot more, how we engineer in a much more efficient way, how we operate and run services across our organization. So I think, those really business impact, governance and security, and then really understanding the human-centric part of how we're designing some of these capabilities.
I agree with that. That part is super important. Human element.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI, thinking more broadly, what use cases are you excited about?
I mean, to say I'm excited about AI is an understatement. Someone told me yesterday, in terms of the AI technologies at Morgan Stanley, I'm considered a power user, which I thought was hilarious. They asked me if I had scripts running on my machine because I use it so heavily every day. I think there's three camps of people. I think there's, the people who, really want to use it but are worried about security and data governance. I think there's the people who want to use it who understand the capabilities but just haven't dove into it and really, played around with it. And then I think there's the other camp, which if you're in that camp, please don't be, because it's really, a technology that I've never really experienced before. It really has changed the way I work. One of my previous roles was working, I co-headed the Enterprise Command Center at Morgan Stanley, and really that, it was like a fusion center that deals with all of the big incidents that happen in the firm. When you think about when you have a massive incident that impacts multiple clients across the world, where it could be on your network or your infrastructure or your web layer, not having a cohesive platform to look at the telemetry for that and really make decisions quick to minimize the impact to the business. I think this is the first time in my career that I've been able to actually see some of the things that I've really needed to operate come to fruition. You can imagine getting on an outage bridge and really having all of the connectors that Snowflake provide into, your things like ServiceNow and other companies, and having a dashboard on an incident where, you're pulling in the last 6 weeks of incidents, you're trawling all the logs to understand exactly what happened at 2 p.m. on a Friday, and being able to do that in real time. I mean, you can tell how, I could sit here for hours.
We see your excitement. I hope the audience finds opportunities to interact with you. We'll find longer venues and opportunities to have you share more of your amazing insights. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank Morgan Stanley named Snowflake Strategic Partner of the Year. And I want to congratulate Morgan Stanley. I don't know how many of you in the room know, a couple of weeks ago, Morgan Stanley turned 90 years old. Janet, thank you so much. Thank you. 90 years old. So brief, but hopefully you get a feel about faster results. One is breaking down silos and helping you integrate data. The other is go actually faster. I need my queries, my questions answered faster. And the other one is the notion of collaboration. Let's go a little bit deeper in the first and very important aspect of the life cycle is the ingestion of data and transformation of data. For the ingestion, we've introduced something we call Snowflake OpenFlow. It is based on Apache 9.5, open source, well-adopted, well-known technology, and it brings you connectors to a variety of sources, whether they're database systems, structured sources, unstructured sources, applications. And the goal for us is to help you break down those silos. I started with, you may have the data, but if it's not accessible to AI, it doesn't help. Some of you may say, well, my company is moving to a streaming architecture. And I'll tell you, sure, we can help you with that as well. We introduced a newer version, updated Snowpipe ingestion mechanism called Snowpipe Streaming, which lets you just pipe data into Snowflake. It is, of course, integrated with OpenFlow, and you see some of the stats, 10 gigabytes per second of streaming data. And from the moment the event is generated or fed into Snowpipe Streaming to the moment you query, 5 to 10 seconds latency. Our team is constantly working on improving throughput, reducing latency. Any of you here using dbt? Someone is excited. We've also introduced as part of Snowflake, as part of Snowset, our user experience, what we call dbt projects. So natively, inside of Snowflake, you can build, test, deploy, and observe dbt pipelines, because we know that the two technologies complement each other quite well, and we want to make it seamless for you to leverage this in Snowflake. For those of you that are more SQL fans, if you want to build pipelines in SQL, we have dynamic tables, which is the way to declaratively specify the body of a transformation, and Snowflake does all the heavy lifting. We do change data capture, we do orchestration, we manage dependencies. All that you say is, I need this to be true, this is how much freshness of lag I can tolerate, and we take care of the details. So we are focused on helping you integrate data. But I mentioned that it's not just the integration of data. All of us at some point want actual queries to run faster. And for that, what we've done is we introduced concept of generation 2 warehouses, Gen 2. For the 10 years that Snowflake has been generally available, it was roughly 10 years ago, that we introduced the concept of abstracting compute. You don't need to figure out hundreds of instances and which one has memory. No, you say small, medium, large, and we take care of the details. Now we introduce the next generation. A lot of software optimizations, newer hardware instances, and at the end of the day, if you want to take one capability out of how Gen 2 compares to the previous, you can see the numbers here. over 2 times faster than what we were doing in the previous generation. And we've compared it to managed Spark distributions, and we see performance being, on average, 1.9 times faster. And in a world where you're paying for compute time, hopefully when you hear faster, you also hear cheaper. Another aspect where you want faster results is when you just want to migrate easier to Snowflake. You may say, I know I have the data that my executive team needs, but that data is in some database on the side. How do you move it faster? We've introduced SnowConvert, which is a tool that helps you migrate, but also we've introduced SnowConvert AI, which leverages AI for automated code conversion, for automated text generation, and for understanding what is not converting and why. Our goal is to help you migrate faster because time is money, and you see the stat here, roughly an 88% acceleration in migration times we've achieved with AI for migrations. Then the last part of how we can help you is collaboration. One of the best ways to go faster is to reuse the work that others have done. And when I say that, it could be reuse the work that others in your organization have done, or reuse the work that others in other companies have done and they are willing to make available to you. That's what we mean when we talk about the AI Data Cloud, is this network of participants that can help one another. That's what we mean by collaboration. So we've introduced what we call an internal marketplace. I'll invite all of you to reflect. Has it happened in your company that someone went and did some analysis or created some pipeline that someone else had created an almost identical process? And I'm not going to ask for show of hands because you may say, yeah, that's not good in my company, but I'm pretty sure it is very common. What we want is folks in your organization to be able to publish, whether it's a query, whether it's a pipeline, whether it's a data set, maybe it's a notebook, and make it discoverable by others, because results happen faster when you get reuse. But the same thing applies with the external marketplace, which is the Snowflake marketplace, where we have all the categories you see here, from data sets to AI-ready data to full-on applications available in the marketplace to be able to run inside the security boundary of Snowflake to help you accelerate delivering results to your organization. Now let me shift to the third desire you may have, which is, how do I future-proof my life? And we've built data, compute, and AI at its core. Some of you may say, you know what, I've heard that Snowflake does multiple clouds, but my company is all in one of the clouds. So I don't care about that. When we started, we were focused primarily in structured data and semi-structured data, like JSON type data. But it's been now 4 years, or a little over 4 years, that we introduced unstructured data. So if you want to reason through PDF documents, or text documents, or I mentioned audio transcription, you can do that with Snowflake. So there's no reason for you to have different platforms, different solutions for different data. And on the unstructured data, you don't need to just ingest it into Snowflake. If it's accessible in cloud storage, you can get value, and you can govern it and manage it through Snowflake. In the topic of data, we also prioritize and value immensely the topic of data openness and data interoperability. No place where you can have CPU-based instances and GPU-based instances, but we give you only the smallest amount of choice that you need to deliver value to your business, not to just be overwhelmed by instance types. At the World Tour, we're incredibly excited to announce and share the introduction of Snowpark Connect for Apache Spark. If any of you walked in here today thinking Snowflake is good for analytics, I'll tell you, Snowflake is amazing for analytics, and Snowflake is amazing for data pipelines and data processing, especially if you have familiarity and knowledge on Spark. What we've done is we've taken the Spark API, Spark Connect, and backed it by the Snowflake engine, which is faster and by implication more economic. And then the third part of the core architecture is AI. I already mentioned how we can help you deliver AI solutions to your company. But we also, again, so you have the choice to operate with open data. And we keep investing in Horizon. What you see in this slide is just a few of the recent enhancements. If you did not know that Snowflake has out-of-the-box data quality, now you know. We have automatic classification. We can tell you if this data looks like an email, it looks like sensitive. We tell you that. Same thing on security and authentication. It's giving you features. We want to help you. We're monitoring the dark web for credentials in your account. And if we find them, we'll either disable the account or notify you. We are monitoring bad IPs, known bad IPs, and we'll block traffic from those to your Snowflake account. Because we take the responsibility very seriously to make sure that we work together to secure your environment. All of us are committed to giving visibility into how resources are being used. We want to give you controls. We have this concept of a budget where you can truly set policies that this person, this cost center, this set of tables, that's how much I'm willing to spend. And of course, we give you optimization, we give you recommendations, and what can you do to get better usage out of your Snowflake instance. All of this comes together to deliver what we call the AI Data Cloud. And something important about Snowflake is it has the ability to provide value to every single persona in your organization. If your finance department says, hey, why do we have Snowflake? There is an argument of how your CFO can get value out of Snowflake. Show them Snowflake Intelligence. At the end of the day, the wants that I described, you wanted to put AI in production, you wanted to have faster results, you wanted to have future-proof architecture. With Snowflake, you can. This is not about one thing, this is about what you can do. And we're extremely excited about what Snowflake does all up, how we help you get more out of your data. Denise in our marketing team said, you know what, Snowflake is where data does more, and that captures the essence of what we do. I hope all of you are excited. I hope all of you are inspired what we can do. I hope you have an amazing day today. We'll have a panel soon. Thank you so much.
Please welcome Chief Data and AI Architect at AstraZeneca, Haji Arif, and Snowflake Chief